So every afternoon we have been continuing to read A Bear Named Trouble by Marion Dane Bauer, and it's a great book, and we're going to keep reading this until we finish it. But like we usually do with our novel studies, we're going to take a pause today for a little compare and contrast. So today what we're going to read is Black Bear Cub by Alan Lind. And I'm going to read this book to you, and as I'm reading it, I want you to think about this bear cub and think about our bear named Trouble. So I'm going to read this book to you. Think about how these bears are similar. Think about how they're different. Think about how the books are similar and different, and then we will discuss it afterwards. Excuse me. In early spring, which is where we are now, in early spring, Mother Bear and her two cubs lumbered out of their winter den. Black Bear Cub slips and tumbles in a slushy mound of snow and lets out a wail. Mother Bear picks up her bear cub gently with her mouth. She carries him slowly to the edge of a small stream where she sits him next to his sister. Mother Bear reaches her head down and takes a long drink of water. She has spent the winter sleeping and has no food or water for months. Still drowsy from her long sleep, Mother Bear leads Bear Cub and his sister back to the den. They curl up and sleep for a few more days. When the first green leaves appear on the forest trees, Mother Bear and her cubs leave the den again. Food is still scarce on the forest floor, but the tender new leaves lure Mother Bear to climb an aspen tree. Bear Cub and his sister both try to climb after her. Their claws are already sharp, but halfway up, Bear Cub loses his grip and falls to the ground with a thump. His sister decides she has climbed high enough for this day, and she climbs down to join him. The cubs will practice climbing again tomorrow. See the bird nest up here in the picture? See if you can identify what kind of bird nest you see right here. In a few days, the cubs are expert climbers. Mother Bear can leave them on their own for a while. She goes off to forage on the early green shoots of buttercups and leaves of violets and wild strawberries. You guys, if you go outside now or look out your window, I bet you will see buttercups. I have a bunch of buttercups outside of my kitchen window at home. So when I get home, I will try to remember to pick some buttercups so I can show you those tomorrow. And forage means that she's out there looking for food. She's foraging for food. She's out there looking for all kinds of plants that they can eat. The cubs remain behind beneath the low-hanging branches of the pine tree in a nest of dry pine needles. If they sense any danger, they will quickly climb the tree. In this picture, you see these pine cones here. So this week, we're going to be doing some work with some pine cones. When the summer days grow warmer, Bear Cub splashes through a cool, shallow stream. He rushes to catch up with his sister. Ahead of them both, Mother Bear plods steadily through the water. When the stream widens into a pool, Mother Bear lies down to let the water cool her. Bear Cub and his sister sit on the mossy stream bank and wait. What all do you guys see in the picture? Do you see the little bee down here? See the pine trees over here. See a little turtle? This looks like Mikey down here. As Mother Bear leaves the pool, she stands upright, sniffing the air, testing it for danger. So think about that. I'm going to read that part again because that'll make you think of something we read in the other book. As Mother Bear leaves the pool, she stands upright, sniffing the air, testing it for danger. The cubs stand up too. They try to sniff the air just the way their mother does it. Like all black bears, their eyesight is poor and their nose tells them far more than their eyes. All is well. So think about them sniffing for danger. And what does that remind you of in our book? Oh, there's a woodpecker. We talked about woodpeckers last time we were together in their beak adaptations. Mother Bear leads the cubs to a dead oak tree. She hears a swarm of honeybees buzzing around a large hole in the tree. The cubs wait as she climbs the tree and claws at the hole until pieces of wood break off and fall to the ground. The bees get angry and try to sting her, but her fur is too thick. Whenever she has a chance, she licks a mouthful of bees from her fur and swallows them. They make a tasty snack. So our bear named Trouble ate the bread bag and all, and he's eating the honey, bees and all. When Mother Bear rips away enough of the rotted tree to uncover the beehive, she takes a big piece of honeycomb for herself. Then she drops chunks down to the bear cubs. The bear cub and his sister sit on the ground, munching greedily at the thick, sweet honey. Their fur soon becomes sticky, and they lick themselves clean with their long pink tongues. Bear Cub's tongue is so long he can almost lick between his eyes. You guys can try that. I'm not going to do that as part of this video, but you can try to stick your tongue out and see. The bear's tongue is so long he can almost lick all the way up to his eyes. Tired and full of the sweet honey, Mother Bear lies cooling herself in the shade of the pine tree at the edge of a small clearing. Nearby, Bear Cub climbs a 12-foot aspen tree just for the fun of it. As he climbs, the tree bends with his weight. When he nears the top, the bending tree swings him gently to the ground. Bear Cub and his sister ride the aspen tree over and over again. So they're doing it like a little game. Now you see a butterfly. We're going to talk about butterflies this week too. After a while, Bear Cub leaves his sister and bounds to his mother's side. He pulls himself onto his mother's back and playfully bites at her ear. She pays no attention to him as he climbs across her back and shoulders. Suddenly, Mother Bear rises, surprising Bear Cub and flipping him to the ground. She rushes into the clearing, then turns to bark at the cubs. They understand her command and run to the nearest large tree where they climb to safety of the highest branches. So what do you think is happening here? Why do you think that Mother Bear has suddenly changed her demeanor? Why is she barking at the cubs? And why are they running for safety? What do you think? That she hears something, sees something, smells something? On the far side of the clearing, 3 coyotes bound from the forest, protecting her cubs. Mother Bear springs forward, growling. Her head down and teeth bared, she challenges the coyotes. They stop for a moment and pace back and forth while they decide what to do. Mother Bear rushes to the tree and joins her cubs in the high branches. As the coyotes circle the tree trunk, yipping and growling, the bears make themselves comfortable, resting in the high branches. They ignore the coyotes until they give up and leave the clearing. The bears spend the night in the tree to be certain the coyotes are really gone. In the early morning light, Mother Bear climbs down. Then she woofs her permission for the cubs to join her on the ground. Together, they will go in search of a patch of berries. Bear Cub and his sister will spend the rest of the summer with their mother, while she teaches them all they need to know to survive in the forest. During the cool weather of autumn, they will find another snug den and fill it with grass and leaves. There they will sleep through the winter. When spring finally comes, Bear Cub and his sister will be ready to begin their own lives in the forest. So think about this bear cub and think about our growing cub in this book, in A Bear Named Trouble, and draw some pictures, or you can write it down. You guys remember how to do the Venn diagrams, where you're going to make your two overlapping circles, and you can write the things in one circle that apply to bear cub only, in the other circle things that apply to trouble only, and then where the circles overlap, that's where you're going to put your observations and characteristics that apply to both. So I want you guys to either draw those pictures or go ahead and make that diagram and write your information, and then I will check that when we Skype or FaceTime tomorrow. See you tomorrow.